You wake up on Monday at 6:30 a.m. to the persistent, vile sound of your alarm clock. Your central nervous system instantly receives a powerful strike of cortisol. Your body physically refuses to get up, but your slavish script is already launched for execution. You mechanically trudge into the bathroom, brush your teeth in front of a murky mirror, and look at your crumpled face with its dead gaze. This is the physical log of your capitulation to the systemic schedule. You have crawled into the boundaries of a standard 5-day work week and sincerely consider it the norm. Look at the mundane facts of your week. You give 8 hours to someone else's boss for a fixed penny wage, waste another 2 to 3 hours on suffocating logistics in a cramped public transport or in traffic jams, and spend the remaining time in a semi-conscious state on the couch. The system squeezes all the juices out of you, takes your best biological energy, and in return gives just enough resources so that you don't drop dead and can stand at the machine or sit at the office desk again next Monday. Remember the law? This is a place of strength. If you lack intellect, do not interfere. The most ingenious and brutal tool of the Matrix is the illusion of Friday. The mass lives all week in a state of hibernation, submissively enduring humiliation from management, a deficit of money and routine, solely for the sake of one brief moment, Friday evening. Your limbic brain is pre-programmed to rejoice at this day, just as domestic livestock rejoices when it is released from the pen to wander around a fenced territory. You sincerely believe that Friday is your freedom, but let's remove the masks and look at the dry facts. What kind of freedom is this? You were simply granted a looser leash for 48 hours to blow off accumulated steam, zero out your meager mental resources, and prevent you from even thinking about rebelling against the system. Thank God it's Friday. This pathetic exclamation of the mass resounds from every crammed shuttle bus and every cheap bar. You rejoice at the end of the week as if you have won a harsh tactical clash. No, you have simply finished your shift in the enclosure, and the owner has allowed you to temporarily close your eyes. Errors in data are a defect. Your Friday euphoria is a continuous systemic defect. Let's break down exactly how you expend your illusory freedom. On Friday evening, you run to the nearest local supermarket or to a questionable bar to drain the remnants of your weekly budget. Your gaze scans the price tags for alcohol, cheap snacks, and plastic fast food. You buy legal poison that instantly burns out your dopamine synapses, destroys your hormonal baseline, and drops your testosterone to zero. You waste your hard-earned capital to shut down your neocortex for a couple of hours and forget that you are at the very bottom of the social hierarchy. The weekend of the mass is a total rotten destruction of resources. You wake up on Saturday with a splitting headache, crawl toward your smartphone screen, and scroll through a feed of short videos for hours, simulating rest. You voluntarily pay for other people's mad SUVs and business class apartments by purchasing promotional alcohol, while corporate owners log pure profit at the expense of your stupidity. On Saturday and Sunday, you frantically try to patch your domestic holes, wash your greasy jacket, clean up your suffocating kennel, where layers of ancient dust have accumulated on the baseboards, and drive to the shopping mall to buy another cheap piece of clothing with a discount coupon. Your relationship during this period is yet another marker of stagnation. You and your partner sit in the same burrow, lazily bickering over unwashed dishes and jointly consuming ersatz products to the sounds of a stupid TV series. You do not build plans for expansion. You simply preserve each other's shared poverty. Already on Sunday afternoon, a primal, sticky fear begins to awaken inside you, the Sunday panic. Your brain understands that the illusion of freedom has ended, and tomorrow the yoke will tightly cinch your neck once again. You frantically grab your phone, flooding your eyes with the blue light of the screen to hide from this ringing emptiness and the inevitability of Monday. You are frantically afraid to remain in silence, because in that silence you will have to acknowledge a harsh fact. Your life completely belongs to a schedule, and your autonomy equals zero. In the wild, a predator never hunts according to a schedule handed down by a foreign leader. It seizes a resource when it sees a tactical opportunity and retains territory by the force of its grip. You have already been left behind. Unit AX3. You voluntarily agreed to enter a system of 5-day slavery because your worn-out and fussy central nervous system is too weak to endure the stress of full independent responsibility. Remember once and for all, this is a place of strength. The algorithms of the media matrix, money, and social hierarchy possess precise thermal tracking. They see only pure, aggressive energy, ice-cold calculation, and a rigid structure. The system simply does not read your weekly whining, your fatigue, and your slavish loyalty to the schedule. For the system, you are an invisible gray biomass. The collar of freedom presses against your neck only because you yourself are afraid to tear off this leash. If you lack intellect, Do not interfere. Listen to my final order. You will never break this 5-day slavish cycle, and you will never fix your defective brain, which is clogged with garbage programs, unless you start acting right now. Your only tactical ticket out of this electronic corral for the mass is the goods of the empire. Access to strength, rigid algorithms, and pure content in discussions is expensive, and there will never be freebies for weak elements here. The starting price for our closed goods of the empire is already fixed in the discussion below this video. Every 10 people, the bar will be automatically and ruthlessly raised several times over. The window of opportunity is closing right now. The time to buy has come before your place in line is taken by a more quick-witted player who processes information faster than your worn-out CNS. If you are totally broke and don't even have this money, your path is one. Gnaw out your living space with your teeth. Develop your personal empire from scratch. Pinpoint cut out the parasites in your environment and completely liquidate any fuss of the CNS. Communicate strictly based on facts without unnecessary empathy. Either you buy the goods of the empire and rewrite your personality code from scratch, or you remain a slave to the schedule, waiting for your next pathetic Friday. The code is launched for execution. Inject this virus into the masses or be erased from the system.